The ripple effects of the West Asian conflict are now hitting Africa's aviation sector. Disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz are tightening the jet fuel supplies and driving up costs across the region. Airlines and fuel suppliers are now warning of growing risks for the operations. In South Africa, airlines are already passing on the impact to passengers. Low-cost carrier Fly as Fair has introduced a temporary dynamic fuel surcharge, citing extreme price volatility. State-owned South African Airways has also adjusted the fares and has added surcharges after a sharp rise in the Jet A1 fuel prices.
The instability on the pricing makes it very, very challenging to move around. You know, you fly to airports all over Southern Africa, West Africa, East Africa, and you bargain on certain pricing when you get there, but by the time you get there, the pricing's changed, and that's the big challenge at the moment. We do believe that will change. We do believe that if the war continues in the Middle East, the availability is going to become a problem.
Now, the root of the problem lies in the supply chains, heavily dependent on the Gulf. South Africa imports most of its fuel from countries like Oman, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. With tanker movements disrupted through the Strait of Hormuz, supplies are now being squeezed and costs are surging. On the ground, the impact is clear. At the airports, crews are closely monitoring the fuel quality and availability as the daily price swings create operational uncertainty. Aviation officials are warning that any further disruption could have a major impact on flights, including charter, medevac and humanitarian operations. Longer shipping paths and higher insurance costs are also adding to the strain. Now, industry experts are warning that this could in fact be one of the most severe energy shocks in years. With limited alternatives and rising logistical challenges, the aviation sector remains highly exposed as the crisis continues to unfold. And our correspondent Calvin Ongmu has sent us this report from Johannesburg in South Africa. Listen in.
The South African government has moved to reassure its citizens that fuel supply remains stable in the short term, despite rising global oil market pressures. This comes in the wake of reports of several petrol stations running out of fuel. The ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East have pushed international crude oil prices above $100 per barrel, creating uncertainty in the global markets. Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resources said that the government is actively coordinating with industry stakeholders to secure both crude oil and refined petroleum products from a diversified range of sources, and a comprehensive plan is in place to manage potential supply risks. While few countries within the continent have seen protests sparked by rising fuel prices, in South Africa, situation remains stable as of now. This is Calvin Ongmu from Johannesburg, South Africa for WION World is One.